Can you start by just introducing yourself and telling us about what instruments you play?
Yeah, so okay, Julien Arsenault is my name, and I'm primarily a guitar player, singer, songwriter, and these were three of my original tunes, two of which are on released EPs, my English EP, J, and the eponymous Tout ce qui reste from my French EP, Tout ce qui reste. The other one, The Way That It Goes, that's going to be coming out by the end of the year, let's say.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you, so Tout ce qui reste is a fully French release, and we saw that like previous recordings or previous releases are kind of a mix. How do you decide which language the songs come to you in a certain language, and tell us more about the writing process as a bilingual artist?
Yes, I mean, it's sure, grew up bilingual and all that, but I guess my life is more in English, although I am, French-Canadian, so it was a challenge that I set to myself. The rhymes don't come as easily, and there's a little bit more thesaurus and, looking up words and editing and all that, but it was in 2020 with COVID, I suddenly had the time and had a bit of a budget for music, so I wanted to make a bilingual record, but I was advised that it might be better to separate those. So they're the same session and it's the same vibe. I mean, wanted to get it. There's been some excellent pop music, Québécois pop music in the 1970s with progressive rock influences and disco influences. So that was really the vibe we were going for there a little bit, and wanted to make some French music for that, to capture that essence.
Amazing. So Jay was split the English songs, and Tout ce qui reste took the French, and those were all recorded at the same time?
Sure, yeah, and ongoing, I would say 2020, 2021, worked with a fantastic producer, Kristen Sean. I recommend, really good guy, really talented musician, and he walked me through this. Chard, who you heard in the sessions, played his harmonica. That was actually, I played producer and recorded him, put a mattress against the wall, and do some DIY soundproofing, and he's even in the video actually. So there's a music video out there. But
You make it work. You make it work.
Always, yes.
I was also going to ask. So I know this is your solo project, but we know you previously played with Crackers and Jam and Superbed. When did that decision to go solo happen, and how do you find that process of writing and recording solo versus as a group?
Well, it's, the need to be a leader, to make the decisions, and, there being my project, so it's on my shoulders, and, making those calls, but also the fun of going and picking different musicians for, different purposes, right? That was one of the great joys, and I was fortunate to have the resources, have the budget. It was really the wish list of all the pro musicians that I wanted for certain things on the project, some saxophones, some flutes, some conga drum, whatever it is, right? Rafi, who you heard, and Mark, are excellent musicians. And so to be able to pick the musicians you want, to be able to lead your project as opposed to sharing that responsibility, challenges, but also rewards,
Absolutely. So a very collaborative effort, but also with a vision that you're trying to accomplish.
Of course, yeah, my vision.
Amazing. I feel like it might be complicated to bring in 10 different musicians and be like, so what are we doing today?
Oh no, the logistics, scheduling, all of it.
True. So I wanted to ask you a bit about the shows you've played. So I know you played across Quebec, but also throughout Canada. And recently we saw that you got to play some music in Europe. Yeah. Want to tell us a bit more about your time abroad, and also what it's like comparing playing in different places, let's just say Quebec versus the rest of the world?
Sure. Well, I mean, within Quebec alone, there are just so many, Quebec is huge, right? So you could go hours north, hours east, west. And there are excellent venues all over this great province. And the bit of touring that I've done just in this province alone, I mean, in 2017, I went on a tour went to Gaspésie and then worked our way back along the St. Lawrence, and just the different culture in these little towns, but the excellent sound, people in every single bar, and, a smaller town where maybe you are the entertainment that evening. So that was pretty sweet just in Quebec alone. But yeah, in Atlantic Canada, that was a really nice little vibe too, where we got everybody, Crackers and Jam, my old group, very spontaneous. We were on the road, and the show had been canceled, and we called up a random microbrewery outside of Fredericton. Hey, can we play? All right, cool. Set yourself up in the corner. And we had merch, and by the end of the evening, everybody had Crackers and Jam pins. So it's like we passed through the town, and we really think, our branding was...
You left your mark.
Yeah, no, literally, yeah. People.
That's so fun. Do you have a highlight from that tour? I'd love to hear, specifically in Quebec, I know it's a ton of little towns like that. What was your like coup de cœur, let's say, from that leg of touring?
I think having played in Gaspé and there wasn't too many people in the bar, but then playing again in Gaspé about a month later, and then people who had seen us at that first show, and then seeing them again, it was the same sound guy.
Amazing.
As you know, they remembered us and they liked us, and so
Fantastic.
that was a fun thing. To be in Europe, yeah, that was a completely. I wanted to play a show. I reached out to a media contact over there, and I kind of thought that it wasn't happening. I was already in Norway, and I was like, all right, I'll have a nice vacation. Then he writes to me, oh, you got a show in 2 days, 1 hour music, and so all right.
Countdown is on.
Well, my travel time was spent, memorizing lyrics and writing down a set list, like 1 hour of tunes that I know. But it was great. It was just, an intimate, but really appreciative audience. And they appreciated French music too. Both some of the songs that I played for them, and the French material, although they're not a Francophone audience, they listened, they clapped, they appreciated it. So it makes you want to do more, right?
What a feeling.
Right.
And that's a great segue. To close it out, we wanted to ask what you got going on. What's in the works for you? Any shows? Any releases? I know you mentioned one possible in the future. Want to tell us what you got going on?
So way that it goes is just about ready, locked and loaded. I think we need to mix it, maybe get a little bit of instrumentation, but that's pretty much set in stone and ready to go. So now that I've done a video session, now that I got these guys accompanying me, then I would like to get that out by the end of the year. I did some sessions as well for another original song, and I would love to release that maybe in the new year, and possibly write some more, because I've been involved in side projects that have taken up some time, and I haven't written new songs in quite a bit.
Well,
so I think 2025 is going to be a year of writing and composition.
Amazing. The fun never ends. Well, thanks so much for being with us. It was a great performance, and thanks for all being champs. The band was great. You're great, and thank you.
All right.